Hola, everyone. Today is Thursday afternoon here in Las Vegas, and we are wrapping up, getting towards the end of the week. Today's the 15th of December, and today I wanted to cover where's the business coming from in 2024. So we've been talking about business planning, been working through with my agents in the office here and coaching. So let's kind of break it down, give you some insight on where you should be looking for business in 2024. And then a lot of these aren't just say for 2024, they're consistent process and things you can be doing over your career, right? But in today's market, it's not as easy in today's market as it was in 21 post pandemic, late 2020, 22. People were hearing, oh, it's a great time to buy. Rates are super low, multiple offers, buy, sell. Everybody was all frenzied. Well, those folks aren't hearing that anymore. So we don't have nearly as many of those easy picking deals, if you know what I mean. So where do we find business at today? Well, let's think about this. We want to identify those people who need to transact regardless of the real estate environment, right? So they have to transact regardless of the real estate mortgage environment. So who are those folks and how do we hopefully identify them, right? So you may have heard this term in real estate, the 4 Ds or the 5 Ds, right? And these are things that, get people moving, right? And these are things that are happening, life events, so to speak, right? So I've actually got 6 on the list and I kind of break them down for you a little bit. Where maybe we can find business from there, maybe how do we approach it. So let's jump right in. All right. So of those D's, the first one we're going to talk about is diapers. So diapers are going to be, we've added, a baby to another baby. House is too small. We need a bigger home, right? And kind of in a little sidebar to diapers, we think about babies. We've seen a lot of families, multi-generational, coming together in homes. Now maybe you're taking care of your elderly parents, right? So there's some of that dynamic as well. But people who need a bigger home, okay, based on their needs. And the next one we'll look at, we'll call, they say diamonds, right? So people getting married. People that are getting married are looking to come together and buy a home, right? So getting married is another one of an audience that we can look at, right? So next one we have is going to be diplomas. So I think diplomas can go both ways. Some people talk about diplomas meaning, hey, we've graduated college, I've got a job offer in a specific city, as opposed to renting, I'd like to be a buyer, right? So diplomas can also generate some transactional activity there. But also on the back side of that, say with the parents, maybe the parents now, the kids are all graduated, right? And we need to downsize. So there's another D there, right? We need to downsize, and we're doing this with diplomas, if you will, right? Hey, empty nesters now, too big of a house. Then we have some divorce, right? Divorce is going to be another category where those are going to be transactionals where people are going to need to transact. Death, there's going to be property and assets that are left to heirs that is going to have to be liquidated, right? So there's another category there. Disability is another one I've heard out there, right? So maybe somebody has had an unfortunate accident where they've broken their hip or something where now they live in a multi-level property and they can no longer climb stairs. They need a single level property, right? So there could be some opportunities there. So I'm not talking about, being like an ambulance chaser type thing, right? Trying to identify the markets of the consumers that need your help, okay? So death, we'll just kind of go backwards on the list there. There's opportunities in possibilities there with probate attorneys, wills and trust attorneys, right? That they oversee estates, handle probate when that time comes. Uh, you can work the obituaries, reaching out to those families, offering your services to assist in that time, right? There's a lot of things that have to happen in those scenarios sometimes where, on top of the family being overwhelmed with grief, maybe they have a full estate that they have to liquidate, mom and dad's furniture, things of that nature, right? They may not know how to do it or have the strategic partnerships, if you will, to help, right? And I'll give you a quick example where I had a referral that was sent to me years ago. Gentleman's mother lived in a community here in Las Vegas. She had passed. He lived in New York. He said, with my schedule, I've got one day that I can come out to the property. My plan would be I'd love to walk the property. Anything of personal value, we can get that. I can get it boxed up and shipped home. But everything else in the home, I don't know what to do with. So I was able to arrange some charities to come out and take the donations with the furnishings and the belongings. I was able to assist in getting some tradesmen out to do some of the work that needed to be done on the property. So, you want to be able to address the pain points or the challenges that these folks can deal with. And then how do I get in front of them, not as a salesperson to sell the home, but how do I get in front of them to be a trusted advisor in the sense that, hey, I understand this timing. I've done this before. I can help you through this to make it more of an easier, seamless, process for you and your family, right? So that's an angle that we can do there. And then with the professionals, whether it's an attorney and the wills and trust, that's going to be about building rapport, right, with those professionals, so that hopefully you can become some type of preferred vendor, have an alignment with them. Networking groups, B&I groups, right, where other professionals are there, are great opportunities to meet those professionals to start to establish those relationships. All right, so there's just a couple of tips in regards to how we might pursue that one. Divorce. Okay, divorce again. You can do professionals, right? Divorce attorneys, right? We can get in alignment with them through those same type ways, B&I networking groups, different types of professional groups within your local community. We can solicit them, right? And I think, if you're going to solicit them, you want to solicit them very strategically, right? Maybe we look to see who's handling the majority of the divorce filings down at your local judicial branch, right? It's such and such firm. Maybe I can get in there, or so different angles you can work there. But that's something you can talk about. But professionals, right? Get in front of them. Diapers. So we've added a new baby, right? And we need to grow. The house is too small. Well, first, make sure you're staying in touch with your past clients in your sphere for those life events, right? But then other ways might be birth records, I guess, right? We might be able to do that. Yeah, I have to put some more thought into where do I find more stuff in regards to diapers per se, right? On the front end of it there. Now the back end there, where I talked about maybe elderly parents, whether they're taking them in and now they need some home health care or something like that. That can be another angle for diapers. Okay, diamonds. Maybe we're doing marriage or bridal announcements, or maybe we're looking at marriage certificate filings, which I think, in certain parts of the country and maybe here in my area in Las Vegas are public record. But that's another potential one, right? We look for announcements in the local newspapers or online platforms. And, so disabilities. It's kind of hard to get in front of folks with disabilities per se, right? But one of the things that you might look for is looking for different opportunities in your marketplace where real estate professionals can look to say, hey, if I'm in a specific geographic area that I live in or I like to work in, or it's close between work and home and work and school, maybe we can do some searches in those areas for some home sellers that might meet some specific criteria and might make them a little more probable to looking to transact, right? So maybe if I'm looking in a geographic area, I'm going to set a benchmark of folks that are a specific age and older, right? Now, and they live in a multi-level property. There has not been a deed transfer in 5, 7 years or more, okay? Those might be folks who may be a little more able to resonate with your message in regards to looking to get out of a multi-level property into a ranch style home, right? So I think that's how we can, talk about getting in front of those different portions of the market. Now, identifying these folks can sometimes be a little more challenging. Let me talk about identifying some different segments here, okay? So if I'm a real estate professional in today's market and my money making time, right? Folks call it your hour of power. I like to call mine my money making time because my hour of power in my mind says I'm working for an hour and doing it. I always dedicated about 3 hours a day to my MMT, money making time. And in that 3 hours, it always had activities from kind of the following buckets, if you will, right? Like I'm going to work out of my past clients in my sphere. What do I need to do today to touch them? I need to touch 5 of those today via the phone, or whatever the case may be. Any active buyers and sellers that I'm currently working with? Is there anything I need to do in regards to servicing either one of those entities right now? Hey, I'm showing Dave homes this afternoon. I need to spend 30 minutes this morning finishing up pulling the properties we're going to look at, right, in the details. Okay. Any active leads in my system that I need to reach out to, right? Like, hey, this guy's on a drip. It's time for me to give him my 2-week touch in, like active leads. Okay. And I like to say old leads in there too, right? Because inevitably we always have a bunch of leads that are just in our database that for some reason they never communicated back. We never followed up with them. We stopped trying after the 3rd attempt, right? We always have those. So, let's chew through those 3, 5 a day. And now I'm either, hey, requalifying them. Yeah, oh, great. Right now is a great time to do that. You make that phone call and here's the call. Dave, this is Mike over at ABC Realty, giving you a quick call. Wanted to let you know I'm reaching out to all of the folks in my database that we talked to this year and wanted to follow up to see if buying or selling is still in your plan for 2024. And more importantly, we're prioritizing that list to see the folks that may need our immediate attention in the first quarter of the year. Is that still in your plan? Right? Yeah, it is. Fabulous. Let's circle back to what your needs are for you and your family, right? Kind of okay, great. I'll update my search. I'll do this, okay? Or, no, we decided we were just going to rent. Okay. Oh, fabulous, right? Be interested. Where'd you guys lease at? Oh, I love that part of town. And what did you sign, a 12-month lease? You did. So that would have been what, March? So you're good up through March of 24. What do you think after that? You guys think you may be interested in getting into the home buying process again? It's not nearly as competitive as it was back when you were looking, in 22, right? There's a lot of folks who are like that. We're just like, they got exhausted in 22, 21, and they're like, I'm just going to rent, right? I'm going to rent. So that may not be a bad avenue, right? It just popped out of my mind saying, hey, well, maybe I go in a search and do the MLS and look at all of the properties in an area